In this tutorial, I will explain you how to calculate, apply, and add new data to restricted rock analysis. First, you want to include new data, usually. So you click on new data, you select the data type you want to select. We have also pre-calculated quite a few data sets already for you, which you can scroll down here and load. So for example, one of these data sets is from our recent publication. You click on load here and the new dataset is loaded. You can also put values from your clipboard or put the values in directly and paste them. And then you have your two groups of samples with the corresponding values. You can also put in a CSV file, which you have to upload here by browsing and uploading a particular CSV file and then press load. This particular example CSV file is something you can download here by this download example file. These CSV files should usually look like this. So you have multiple columns. Each column could be an outcome which you want to discriminate, and it can be a measurement. So here I have the columns hepatitis or colitis with zeros and ones. And I have some of the cell populations we measured. So after you uploaded this example here and loaded the data, you have it internally here, and you can then go to calculation, where you can use restriction directly. So a dependent variable is already selected for you, but you should select that yourself. So that's the class you want to discriminate. It's, for example, colitis or hepatitis. And the independent variable is then selected for you, but might not be as useful. You're probably not interested in discriminating hepatitis by colitis, but more in one of the other cell populations. So let's select this subpopulation of CD4 positive TEM cells. And now you see the density of the positive and negative population. You can also change the positive or negative label, which is colored red and green. This then changes the corresponding rock curves. And now we actually want to apply and calculate restriction. For this, you press this calculate restriction button. And then for this dependent variable, all the independent variable restrictions are calculated. And here, for example, you see now that restriction now tells you that the informative range, the range of the biomarker, which is actually informative for the class, goes from almost zero, but excluding zeros, up to the whole range of the values. You can also see then the restricted and the unrestricted p-values, which correspond to the restricted or unrestricted AUCs, which are shown here. You also see the restriction value here. Sorry about this here. Which says that values above 0.000164 should be used to classify your samples into positive and negative class, or 0 and 1 class. That the p-values are both insignificant here is because your number of permutations is so low. I will show you later another example there. You can download this table. You can also press here and then you get an Excel table for that. You can also have all the other markers here and calculate restriction. It does only calculate the restrictions for the values you did not do until now. And here you can now select on the top right which of the markers you want to show, including the restriction. Here for colitis, for example, it's not shown which part should be selected because you did not calculate restriction for that. Ultimately, you can download first the restricted values. So that's the values which are imputed, and only the informative values keep their original values, and the non-informative values are replaced with, in this case, a -1, but you could also have a 3 or set something else, whichever seems to be reasonable for your dataset. And here is then the code which essentially generates these results for you, which have been shown here. This is important if you want to go for higher permutations, if you are interested in how significant is my example really. You can also download a zip of the currently loaded data and the code. And finally, I told you that I will show you a data set which was pre-calculated. Let's, for example, use this 110 data set from our recent publication. And here most of the, or all of the population and dependent variables for hepatitis and colitis have been pre-calculated for you with some permutations. And you see the now more reliable p-values here. You can again, as previously, select here the different populations. With this, I conclude, and I hope you got an overview of how to use this website for your own analysis, but feel free to reach out to us if you have any further questions.